Hello, my friends. My name is Bo from the 80s. Because I don't know, I accidentally realized today that I look like I am from the 80s right now, and so something has to change. Today we're going to be looking at Ice Cream Sandwich, one of the funniest and just most enjoyable animated story channels. We're going to see what Ice Cream Sandwich, aka Andy, has been up to. After this video, if you haven't seen the other episodes in the series, they're all going to be in the playlist. And if you can boop like on this video really quick, I would really appreciate it. And let's get started! Things that make me irrationally angry! Lies I believed as a kid. Times in my life I could have died. We're gonna check these out. Make sure you're supporting Ice Cream Sandwich. We're gonna start with things that make me irrationally angry. Make sure you are subscribed to Ice Cream Sandwich. If you are not, I will end you. And let's go. 3, 2, 1. Hello.
You know what really peeves me the freak off?
What?
Several things, like slime and ASMR videos and other things that I'll go over with you. Give me that napkin. Is it still there? You still got it on. It's still there a little bit.
Turn that frown upside down.
No, there's still some. Yeah. All good? Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
I thought that was supposed to, wasn't that supposed to be his frown? All right, so they wiped the frown off, the scowl off. If you keep making that face all the time, it's going to be stuck like that, you know.
Pet peeves. The things that, no matter how mundane, peeve you off. They just peeve you. I consider myself a go with the flow kind of guy, but sometimes there's just a couple things that really peeve me off. I don't know if anybody else is with me on this because it seems to be a very popular thing, but one of the top things that gets my goat. Slime. Hurts my eyes a little. When I was younger, I got a gift, and because I am a boy, it's slime. You know, you get
slime doesn't bother me that much because as an adult, you don't really go through life encountering slime very often. Slime is not a regular part of my day, so I can't say I get too annoyed by slime. But I will say I don't find it quite as fascinating as a lot of people do.
I got a gift, and because I am a boy, it's slime. You know, you get boys, gross bugs. Make a bug from the thing. I fell into that category, and so I was gifted slime one day, and I played with it for like, I don't know, a little bit. And not even after a minute or two of playing with it, my hands were filled with like this weird
sticky
texture. It was
residue.
like an oily texture. Whatever else I was touching was also getting oily. And then the slime itself was attracting all kinds of hair and dust. It was disgusting. And it was like 2 minutes. I don't want to play anymore. And now I can't stand slime. And when I see people make those satisfying slime videos, it just throws me into a deep and terrible rage.
Satisfying slime videos? I think Lola sometimes watches those. I don't personally get it. I think I already watch a lot of stupid stuff in my spare time. I don't need to add slime to the mix.
Anytime I see it, I just think of like sticky hair and oily texture. I don't know what's going on in my brain that makes me mad, but when I see it, it makes me mad. I get angry. I don't like slime.
I understand.
And besides, I'm more of a moon sand kind of guy anyway. Is it not just the better of the two? Would you rather play with soft, silky, beach-like sand or icky, oily, gross, sticky booger snot toy?
You got me there. You got me there, Andy.
Something wrong with your kid. Anyway, moving on. I'm glad that we can all agree that I'm right. Next up is ASMR. I get it. There's some people that listen to it and they love it. The sound goes into the brain and it gives it a little tickle and it makes them feel good. I get that. But for some reason, it feels the opposite for me. Ow! Ow! Stop it! I think it's like a personal space thing. ASMR makes it feel like somebody's right up in my bubble. And I don't like that. I like my personal space. I like me a good amount of air between me and people. Don't touch me. If I'm on a plane and your legs are touching my legs.
This is so good, and the animation is so smooth. Andy's got it down right now. Andy has got his style down. But anyways, I don't know. I don't think I have the same problem with ASMR. I think I just find it silly a lot of the time.
Busty, I can't sleep. I need some ASMR.
Though I honestly think it comes down to just like, this thing didn't exist for like the vast majority of humanity. And then now that it does come out, people are like, I need that in my life. I need this thing. I don't know if ASMR annoys me because I just kind of find it silly, honestly. Not too many things do annoy me because I kind of just like letting people live life the way they want to live it, you know? So if people like slime, whatever. If people like ASMR, all good, dude. If people are furries, all good. Live your life. I don't care.
People, don't touch me. If I'm on a plane and your legs are touching my legs,
no,
I
no.
won't say anything because I'm pretty non-confrontational, but I'll be upset about it. Next up on the
Valid.
list, a pet peeve I think everybody can agree on. This video is sponsored by...
Oh.
Ew, why'd you do that?
That's not annoying, Andy. Get your money, brother. I respect it. I respect the ad. Of course, we can't show his ad in our video, but yeah.
There's another thing that peeves me off that I'm tired of being quiet about, and something needs to be said.
What?
One moment. Look at these two burgers. Observe how easy it is to eat this regular-sized normal burger.
Okay.
See? Relatively easy. Now try this. It's messy. It's bigger than your mouth. And it falls apart easily. Isn't that the worst?
Pretty silly, yeah. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
I've been there, buddy. I don't like food that I physically have to crush with my hands to be able to eat it. I think there should be a law that prohibits burgers from being bigger than the average human mouth size, which is about 2.2 inches, which is around the width of 3 human fingers. Take your fingers out of your mouth. Would you be excited to eat a hot dog?
I almost did it. The autism was activated, and I just was about to. I started without even thinking, and then I was like, "Wait a minute! I don't need footage of me doing that to exist." Thank you, Andy. You stopped me from embarrassing myself.
Take your fingers out of your mouth. Would you be excited to eat a hot dog that required you to unhinge your mouth to eat?
No, I would not like that.
I think the rule of thumb is if your burger needs a stick to stay together, maybe it's time to go back to the drawing board. People who say short instead of average height. Like people are tall or short, and somehow there's no room for average. What, you're always hot or cold and there's no warm, fast or slow, full or hungry, day or night? Is your world so rigid that you are bound by the rule of black and white? Would you give no time for the brilliance of the sunset to dance on the stage of the horizon? I'm 5'9" and that's short to you? It's average. Imagine what house you could build with...
Oh, Andy going for it. Yeah, again, like, that is something that I used to care about a lot. And when we looked at Hamination's earlier videos, we looked at his video about being short, and we talked about it. And we had a whole thing about, like, literally your height doesn't matter at all. And if you're really short, that's cool. If you're really tall, that's cool. Again, live your life. I don't have any more or less respect for someone based on their height. But there was a time when I was mildly insecure about my height. I'm like 5'8", 5'9", which I think is like 1 inch below man average. Literally like 1 inch, or it is average. I don't know. I don't care. I used to care, but now I don't. And neither should you. Your height is your height, and it doesn't matter. No one is better or worse than you because they are taller or shorter than you. A message from the government of Robert.
Imagine what house you could build with hundreds of millions of dollars.
Wow.
Beautiful marble, gorgeous statues, water features.
What dumb thing
with
are they
that
gonna
much
do?
money, you should be able to make something really amazing with a lot of good taste. Well, I found a place that's somehow the opposite. I was on Zillow trying to find the most expensive place to live in New York. No, I am not procrastinating. It's important. Research. Anyway, I found this one. Look at how unfinished it looks. It looks bad. Can you guess how much this mansion costs? 100.
Bro, that doesn't even look like a real picture. This doesn't even look like a real picture. Am I going crazy right now? Like, this furniture looks like it's like photoshopped in. I think this house is empty and they photoshopped in the furniture.
Guess how much this mansion costs? $125 million.
What?
Isn't that insane? You know, like wood at Home Depot that's like not finished or part of any complete project?
Yeah.
That's what this place looks like. It's like a table where you got all the parts but never finished them. I'm not mad that the house looks bad. I'm mad that the house looks this bad with so much money behind it. How can you be so rich and make such a bad interior?
I'm so stupid. Well, as we have learned from being on this world, some of the richest people in the world are also some of the dumbest and most awful people in the world. So this actually kind of adds up. This house is made for dumb rich people who convince themselves that it looks good. And hey, if you're a dumb rich person and you want to spend too much money on your dumb house, be my guest. You know, it's all good.
Let's put this into perspective. Rich people can buy crazy things like
Yeah.
F1 fighter jets and racetracks
Yeah.
and probably a scrying orb. But then they go and get this. It just doesn't add up, and it makes me pretty mad. Like, if you're gonna have a bad house, it should at least be cheap. It's like spending millions of dollars on a party on the moon, and then you bring out the dessert, and it's yogurt. Just plain yogurt.
I like yogurt.
Why ruin the $1 million?
This is so funny. Hey man, maybe the Galgamex really like plain yogurt, and it's a delicacy to them. Have you ever thought of that?
Well, okay, maybe we just need to forget about the Gilgamesh for a second and focus. Forget about the Gilgamesh!
Forget about the Galgamex! Ah! I'm sorry, people.
Ruin the $1 million party with yogurt. I can only assume whoever owns this house just wanted to feel something. They've experienced so much opulence and extravagance that this disgusting, violent interior is the only thing that's made them feel anything in years. Next up, the Kraft mac and cheese boxes. Bring in Exhibit A.
Oh, of course. Equally
As you
annoying.
can see here, there is a nice perforated edge designed for the user to easily access the mac and cheese dust within. Perfect.
Good.
It will make opening it so much easier.
Good.
Except it doesn't.
Why?
And every time I want a bowl of mac, I end up just crushing the box, and I feel stupid.
Okay, here I go.
Let's go. Get him, Andy. No! No!
Perfect. It's so
Good job.
incredibly pointless. I'm having a hard time believing it's a real machine making these perforated edges. Probably just a guy at the end of the production line making indents in the boxes with his fingernails because he thinks it's like helpful or something. Well, it isn't. Even if it was, there's an entire bag of cheese dust in there that needs to be extracted. It's not gonna fit through that tiny hole. Just copy cereal boxes. They figured it out, and you can do the same thing. Probably.
But with cereal boxes, don't you have to like open it up and then also the bag inside you'd open it? I haven't eaten I actually never eat cereal from a normal box. The only cereal I ever have is in the like hippie oats and grains, like whatever. Because I'm a health freak. I don't know. I guess I don't talk about this very much. I'm very much a health nut. And so literally I don't exactly know how cereal boxes work. But I feel like that's not what they should emulate. Kraft.
Figured it out, and you can do the same thing. Probably. No. There's this thing that gets my goat so bad. When I'm on a walk with Rhea and we're having a great time, I'm taking in the nature, she's sniffing around, we come across a lawn that she's already been walking in with a tiny little, usually green sign that says, "This lawn has been chemically treated. Keep children and pets off until dry." Why is that sign so small? Tiny. Clearly, the chemical that is treating the lawn is harmful to pets and children. Otherwise, why would there be a sign? So, when something is harmful, why is the sign so tiny? This little contradiction, it never, why is it also green, which blends into the grass? The issue arises when I don't notice it until Rhea's already been in the lawn sniffing around. Clearly, the solution is to have several signs, have a little skull and crossbones on it, and then, string together some pink string between each sign surrounded the treating area. Imagine you had to store some nuclear waste from a nuclear...
Okay, so unlike pretty much everything else in this video, this is actually a thing worth getting angry about. Everything else is just okay, people are weird. But this is something that is actually harmful. It's okay, this, I get it. I get why you're mad. I'd be mad too. That it would actually genuinely be very upsetting, and I would have the exact same rant as Andy if I were in his situation. But in LA, there's no grass to begin with, so not much to fertilize.
Imagine you had to store some nuclear waste from a nuclear power plant. All right, we need to keep this away from the public. It's harmful nuclear waste, so what should we do?
Okay.
I have just the plan.
Okay.
It's perfect. If I were to give you a vial of poison and say drink it, would you? Probably not. But then, if I said, oh, don't worry, it's only enough to kill small children and pets, would you feel safe drinking it then?
No!
Probably not. I just hate those signs.
Okay, I'm booping like on that. It's very funny how much of a range of things you should actually be angry about versus things that you just disagree with are on this list. I honestly think the dangerous chemicals is probably the only one to actually allow yourself to get angry about, you know? I believe that fertilizers are bad, and if you use fertilizer, that's bad.
Now, little Timmy, you know better than to steal cookies from the cookie jar.
Of course.
You know, I never told you this, but if little children eat cookies before dinner time, they spoil their appetite. And bat wings will sprout from their eyeballs, and they will fly away into the sun where they will explode.
Wow. That's crazy.
Hot take of the day, I think lies, they're bad. If you lie to somebody, there stands a chance that you could really hurt them. Hey, buddy! Go over there. Don't worry, it's safe. Why would you do that? But sometimes kids can be unruly. And I'm not a parent, so I don't know what's considered good parenting and bad parenting. But sometimes as kids, to keep the peace, we were lied to. And I think about that sometimes. At least for the lies that I was told when I was a kid, I think it's mostly fair. But come here, I gotta show you something really quick.
Goodbye forever.
You have entered the Shadow Realm.
I think I will agree with Andy's hot take. Lying is in fact bad. And if you have a person in your life who lies to you frequently, you should probably try to distance yourself from that person. Because if they'll lie to you about one thing, they'll lie to you about something else.
A message from the government.
Normally, as stated before, lying bad. But
yeah.
I can empathize with parents if they need a little more order in the house. I look back on my childhood and remember how I was lied to from time to time, and I think, yeah, that was warranted.
It happens.
Like one time when I was a kid, I was told if I keep making that face, it'll stick that way. I remember
I literally said that earlier in the video. Nice. Bit of a prophet over here. Rewind it. Rewind me saying that in the last video.
If you keep making that face all the time, it's going to be stuck like that, you know.
If I keep making that face, it will stick that way. I remember at the time I was harassing my mom while she was making us dinner. Mom. You gotta be careful, because if you keep making that face, it'll stick that way.
Nuh-uh.
I didn't believe this lie, but I should have. I am very gullible and believe most things.
$3 million.
I would say 45% of my working memory, misinformation. But either way, in my opinion, this lie is fine. I admittedly was being a walking headache, and this lie, it really isn't that damaging. Unlike some other folklore tales,
valid.
like little...
Valid, I guess. I guess that is valid. Is it actually harmful at all to tell your kid, if you keep making that face, it'll get stuck like that? Tell me in the comments if you didn't hear that. Or is that only like an English-speaking term? Or is that like an American term? Or is it a worldwide term? Yo, if English is not your first language, if you're from a country where English is not your first language, did you ever hear that growing up? Did you hear that lie? Because if you did, I want to know, because I'm just wondering, is it only do other languages have that same lie? And if so, I wonder how it's spelled.
Really isn't that damaging. Unlike some other folklore tales, like little German boys being told not to put your fingers in pie or else you're going to be taken away by a monster.
What?
Oh my goodness!
Oh my God!
Oh my goodness!
That's so
A long time ago, there was a time where backlit things didn't exist.
Yeah.
Or were at least very rare. And if you were in a car on a road trip and wanted to read some spooky goosebumps, you would need an overhead light.
Yes.
I remember lots of times on road trips I wanted to play Pokemon on my Game Boy, but I didn't have any backlit stuff. As many kids my age, I too wanted to be a Pokemon master.
Yeah.
Obliterate every enemy I could with my team.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready to battle. To do any of this, I needed light.
Yeah.
A simple thing to come by these days, but at that time, I had none. There's this thing I used to have that was like just a little spiral light that would connect to the Game Boy. It'd just be like a lamp.
Yes!
A lamp showing
Those bootleg Game Boy lights, creating the worst light you have ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that I complain about technology a lot, and I know that I look like I'm from the 80s. I literally look like a boomer in this outfit, but I am very glad that things have backlit screens now. I would have liked it if technology stopped at the year like 2008. That was the end of when life was good. We had all the technology we needed to like have as much fun as we wanted to. Video games, they were in HD, they were online. You could talk to people. We had backlit screens, but we didn't have brain rot. That's what I'm saying, people. If we stopped technology at 2008, 2010, whatever, we would have all the good of technology minus the brain rot. And that's what I think would be good.
A little spiral light that would connect to the Game Boy and just be like a lamp, a literal lamp shown on the screen. Can't remember if I just didn't have it at the time or it broke, but either way, I needed the top light. So I turned it on, and then my dad turns it off.
So annoying.
Apparently, as my dad put it, it was illegal. I remember thinking, of course I can't turn that on now. If I did, then we would get pulled over, and then my dad would be put in jail. And then
feel like
I would
I've
have
heard
to drive,
that.
and we all know how that would go. I'm a Pokemon master, not a NASCAR driver. Come on. I didn't have a job, so how am I supposed to post bail? Sorry, Dad. My only option was to wait and to look out the window and pretend little guys running around.
Yes, I did that too. I did that too.
What?
Andy, we're the same person. I did all this exact same stuff. It's ridiculous.
How's he doing that?
But, as you may expect, if you look at the law, there's nothing in here about inner car lights on at night being illegal. My dad only said this because it was simply hard to see at night.
I feel like I may have heard that.
Which is honestly fair. Even though I was fighting the biggest criminal organization in the history of
Team
mankind.
Rocket. Team Rocket.
In Pokemon. I do know now it's harder to see when the inner lights are on. I didn't understand at the time how important visibility was. However, I would learn how very vital it is years later while I attempted to get my own license. Do you need sunglasses? No, I'm fine. Now I understand. Kids tend to pee in pools. It's just the way things are. I don't make the rules. This can become a problem when you try to teach a bunch of them how to swim.
I thought you said holes. I was like, what are you talking about? Okay, pools. Thank you for clarifying. I'm glad that was sorted out.
Kids tend to pee in pools. It's just the way things are. I don't make the rules. This can become a problem when you try to teach a bunch of them how to swim. So when I was in swimming class, before we started at all, our swimming instructor told us, if you pee in the pool, it'll react with the chemical in the pool and turn it red. And so everyone will know that you peed in the pool and that you're a pool peer. And this guy pees in pools. You give me that. Give me the pool noodle.
Got him.
And up to that point, I had been being in the pool.
Honestly, dude, the vibes of Andy's videos are just so nice. Ice Cream Sandwich is absolutely one of my favorite channels on all of YouTube, and I'm so glad we're watching it again. But yeah, I never peed in a pool once, at least for as long as I can remember. If I did, I would have been like 2, because the earliest I remember is 3. And I know that I never peed in a pool. That ain't me.
Bad. And up to that point, I had been being in the pool. Used to be so vile. I'm sorry to admit that, but as a kid, I was just like, well, a fish can do it.
No, Andy.
Dude, ew. Come on, man.
Come
My
on,
kid's in this
dude.
lake. It's very selfish to be in the pool. You ruin the pool for everyone.
This
It's
is
like
how we are not
everybody's
alike,
having a
Andy.
soup, and everybody's really excited to eat the soup, and then you throw a bunch of spice in the soup, and you're just like, oh, no, that's just for me. Don't worry. Just gonna mix that up a little bit. Now,
That's
looking
so
back,
funny.
I'm glad that I was lied to, because I stopped peeing in pools right away.
Good.
Who knew lies could be so effective? On an unrelated note, did you know not subscribing to this channel in 24 hours gives you scurvy?
Wow.
Just saying. Okay.
It is legal to lie about subscriptions, right? That's okay. We can do that, because if so, if you're watching this video and you don't subscribe to the channel within 24 hours, I've heard that there's a spooky bad guy that you might see in your dreams tonight. Unless you don't have a YouTube account already, then that's okay. But if you have a YouTube account and you're watching this video right now and you don't hit subscribe within 24 hours, I did hear there's like a scary guy that you'll see in your dreams tonight. I think it's really important reason that you hit the button because trust me, you do not want to see that.
Okay, so when I was recording this earlier, I was gonna say a thing about how lifesavers are a candy that helps prevent kids from choking because of the little hole in the center.
What?
But did you know that's also a myth? I was told that the inventor designed the candy like that because his kid choked on candy, and he didn't want other kids to befall the same fate. And that's also why it's called lifesavers, because it's saving lives.
How?
Turns out that's wrong. He just wanted to make a candy that looked like lifesaver buoys.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just kind of disappointing. Why not make candy of something cool? Like me. They say that.
Like an ice cream sandwich candy? An Andy candy? Andy candy? Sorry. I wasn't expecting those words to go together so well. Yeah, making candy in that shape would not make it safer to eat by any means. You're chewing it up no matter what. It's going to be the same sludge going down your throat.
They say that cracking your knuckles ruins your hands. But I've been cracking my knuckles for years, and look at how they turned out. Does this look broken or mangled to you? Take a close look.
Looks good. Looks good. Looks good,
Your
Andy.
skin is really soft. Could you stop? I was always so worried about cracking my knuckles because I would often hear people say, you're gonna get arthritis if you keep doing that. I don't want arthritis. I need my hands. But unfortunately, it became a habit, so I did it a ton. Then I started to crack my ankles, my elbows, my back, my sternum somehow, my neck. It was getting out of control. So I was worried about the future of my hands. But as I was worrying, research was being conducted about the correlation between arthritis and cracking your fingers. And they found no correlation, which means I don't have to better myself nor my bad habits. Yay!
Is there really no wearing down of your bones from that whatsoever? So here's one that I can do. And then I got this one right here. I've got a few cracks I can do, but I try not to let new cracks happen because once you start cracking a spot on your body, it's like you have just set yourself up to be able to crack it forever, and then you'll never be satisfied, you'll never be comfortable. Or maybe that's just how I feel because I'm autistic. That probably is it, to be honest.
Yay! I think what was really going on here is maybe parents thought it was really nasty whenever their kids cracked their knuckles, which is fair. It's pretty gross. And then just told them they need to stop because of health reasons. But also, if you think about it, it just kind of makes sense. It doesn't seem like a healthy thing to do. Maybe one day my fingers will just fall off. Only time will tell. Anyway, lies are bad. But when I look back on it, maybe not all lies were bad. And maybe it was just people trying to guide me along a better path in life, which is kind of sweet.
Yeah, it would make your life better. Your life better, and it's good, and it's cool. I don't know how I would feel about the cracking thing if I hadn't also been told when I was younger that, like, cracking your knuckles was bad. I never really could, but my sister did it all the time, and because I was told that lie, then I also did find it gross. But maybe I wouldn't find it gross if I didn't lie as a kid.
I do not like to die. Not a fan. In fact, I love not dying.
Yeah.
As you may be able to tell from my beautiful, youthful, lifelike state.
Oh.
But that isn't to say that I haven't had my moments of close calls. Whoa! One time when I was in college, I was trying to plug something into the outlet under my table. I didn't want to fully get out of my chair and get on my hands
didn't
and
look?
knees just to plug something
You
in.
didn't look?
So I just try and reach the outlet and plug it in without looking. I know, you don't need to say anything. But I kept missing the plug that I wasn't looking at. So I used my finger to try to find the outlet and then guide the plug towards the outlet. And I was just thinking that I would take my finger away before I got too close.
Gosh,
but-
no!
I shocked myself with an actual outlet in real life. This is something I did, and I lived, and I'm thankful for that, but I am self-aware enough to say that is not my brightest moment. That could have been it for me. I never imagined myself going out that way, I'm gonna be honest. I always thought when I die, it would be cool and probably impressive somehow. Like sacrificing myself to save Earth from an asteroid.
Extremely impressive, Andy. Gosh, this is so funny. I'm loving this. The outlet thing, oh my gosh. Guys, never let your laziness put yourself in danger. There are so many instances in life where people put themselves in danger by being lazy. For example, taking the dangerous shortcut home as opposed to the long, safe way. Not looking when you're plugging something into an outlet because you don't want to bend.
You just gotta do the bend, people.
Like sacrificing myself to save Earth from an asteroid. This is for you, Earth.
Incredible.
Yeah, he blew up the wrong one. But it turns out I'm highly likely to die in a fork in outlet related death which is kind of disappointing.
Wait a minute. Did he just have the rat possibility of elimination? Did I just see muffins on the list? This should be 0. Muffins will not end your life. In fact, let me prove it right now. Looks like we have little Mr. Feelington. Hi, Felix. How's it going, buddy? You're the first muffin in a video in a long time. Are you really trying to tell me, Andy, that you think there's any chance that the sweet muffin Felix... Okay, Felix, come on. Stop moving around, buddy. You're moving so much. I was trying to put you on my shoulder so that you could chill there. Do you not want to be on my shoulder at all, Felix? There you go, buddy. There you go. Felix, turn around. Turn around. Good boy, Mr. Felix. Oh my gosh, you've really... Why do muffins do this? Okay, Felix, I think I made my point. He's harmless. He's just a little muffin. And if you want muffin merch, it's on robertidk.net. Link in the description. All right, Felix, are you going back in now?
I'm going back in. Okay.
A fork in outlet-related death, which is kind of disappointing, but also pretty in character of me.
An outlet? You died from touching an outlet?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, come on.
I guess I'm not really upset that this is the way that I am. I'm just thankful I've walked away from most things unscathed.
Good.
Or at least moderately scathed.
Good.
Sometimes things are just an accident, though. Like this one time involving a microwave. It was just some random night that I was at home, and I wanted some candy. But my parents are crazy and like to freeze their candy. Like, if you wanted a Three Musketeers, it would be in the freezer. You know
What?
the delicious candy bar, known for its fluffy and chocolatey center?
Oh,
well,
no.
yeah. They like that solid.
What?
And
That's
I
crazy.
can't stand frozen candy. So I wanted to melt it. And thankfully, we have technology at our disposal. I intelligently thought to myself, microwave make
the
candy.
tinfoil wrapper in the microwave. Ah! We all know a kid who's done that. Yeah, putting a candy bar in the freezer, you're ruining it. It's like freezing a good steak, you know? It's never gonna be the same.
Microwave make candy warm. Candy go in microwave. This was at the time when I was a lot shorter, so I got a stool to access the microwave easier. I put the candy in the microwave and pressed start, but the candy was still in the wrapper, and the wrapper was some kind of foil
no.
or metallic. So plasma, of all things, started arcing in the microwave. Oh my goodness! I freak out and I lean on the shelving that the microwave was seated on as I use my other arm to turn it off. But the shelving wasn't bolted down or something, so the microwave tilts onto me, which I instinctively catch.
Oh
And
my
suddenly,
gosh.
I am holding a bomb!
What?
Fire! Assistance! Thankfully, my dad runs over and pulls the plug and saves the day. Thanks, Dad. The candy was ruined, though. Obviously.
Oh,
so
no.
I just didn't have any candy that night. No!
You didn't walk away with any candy, but you did walk away with your life, Andy, and I think that's the most important thing here. What a horrible night to have a curse. That sounds like a pretty terrifying situation. I'm glad he's okay.
I am now aware, you don't have to say anything, I am now aware that candy in microwave wouldn't have given me the result I wanted anyway. But in the moment, it seemed right. In the spirit of the Home Alone franchise, I am at least now aware of how to weaponize everyday household items in the event of a potential intruder.
Good. That's the most efficient, yeah.
Yeah, come here. Stand over there. No, wait, where are you going? There was this one Valentine's Day I was setting up for a lovely and romantic dinner for Kelly and I. It was in my dorm room at the time, and I did the best that I could with what I had. Card table with tablecloth, nice plates, fancy glassware, candles. But what's a romantic dinner without flowers? It's a cliche, sure, but it's a staple, and staples are important.
Of
Except
course.
for the store Staples, which I'm surprised is still in business. Either way, this was back during college, and it was a small college town that I was in, and there was only one floral shop that I was aware of. I've never seen a store like this. I thought it was so strange. I wasn't sure if it was actually in business. It was way too dark for the time of day it was. There were a lot of old-timey dolls placed around randomly and definitely weren't making me very uncomfortable.
Okay.
And nobody was there, not even the employees. I didn't think I was in the right spot, so before I left, I rang the bell at the front, and I was going to ask the hopefully present employee if there was a shop nearby that sold flowers. Someone does come to the front, and I ask them, "Do you have any roses?" "Yeah, we have roses. Follow me."
Oh, no.
Fantastic.
Oh,
I
no.
wasn't wrong. This was a flower shop. I follow her behind the desk and into the greenhouse section of the building.
Thank
The
goodness.
clear tarp
Thank
that covers
goodness. I thought the times I almost died part was like, they lured me into the dark room. I'm glad this actually is a flower shop because I was getting a little nervous. Okay, just a dark and spooky building, but hopefully the employee wasn't trying to end your life.
I follow her behind the desk and into the greenhouse section of the building. The clear tarp that covers the structure had fallen inward and was touching a lot of the plants. I mean, if you could still grow plants when the tarp is half caved in, then why not? It's just strange. She moves past the tarp and into the back. I kind of have to duck and push the tarp out of the way to follow her. We end up in the back of the building where the boiler room is. The room was dark, messy, and full of random unorganized tools. The strangest, however, was the 7 bulky, ominous men sitting on buckets in a circle staring at me. These guys did not seem to work at this establishment, and they did not seem friendly. And also, who hangs out in a dark, messy room like this? I was starting to get weird feelings at this point. The lady who was helping me said, "Stay there for a moment," and starts moving further back into the boiler room. The men are still staring at me. Whatever conversation they were having wasn't happening anymore, because of my presence, I assume. She comes back with this bucket with just a bunch of roses in it. Man, what's with this place in buckets? And then she tells me they are $30 each. $30?
What?
Per rose? What kind of scam is this place? $30.
Definitely a scam. Definitely a scam. Based on what else is seemingly going on in that room, I would say, yeah, the $30 is not for what you think it is. How long has that been paused? Okay, my TV's frozen. I don't know when that happened, but I'm sorry. It'll just look like that for the rest of the video, I guess.
What kind of scam is this place? $30. I suddenly am very aware of the situation that I'm in. Why am I in the back of a flower shop in a dark room? Why didn't they bring the flowers to me in the front? Why are all these men silently staring at me? Why are the roses $30? I think this is a ghost trade and I just interrupted their meeting. Yep. I am in the least safe place to be right now. And I can't just not buy a rose. They'll probably think I'm an undercover cop or something, just trying to get close to them and gain information. I am incredibly vulnerable. They could beat me up, take my money, and stuff. I don't know. I have to...
That is actually a spooky situation.
So they don't get suspicious. Plus, they're still staring at me. Yes. 1 rose, please, I said unsuspiciously. I do the transaction, and I get out of there, back outside where it's safe. Finally, I have my rose and all of the pieces for my romantic dinner. But now I also have a lesson learned. Never do business in an establishment where the lights are off, you think it's closed, and the roof is caved in. I wish I was more aware of things, but that's just not who I am.
That's one of those lessons that everyone has to learn at some point in their life, you know? I definitely have my own situations of like near peril when I was a kid, and maybe I should talk about them sometime. I'm sure at some point in my talking into a microphone career, I will talk about very similar, very spooky things that happened when I was a kid. But for now, we're gonna let Andy do it. And if you want Andy to do it some more, subscribe to his channel. Andy did all the hard work, okay? Subscribe to Ice Cream Sandwich. He is so funny. Here's the whole playlist of times we looked at Ice Cream Sandwich. If you haven't seen all the other episodes, click on this playlist. And this is something you can fall asleep to for the next week or whatever. Just watch all of them if you want. Or here's another video I think you'll like. I'll see you here. I'll see you there. Peace out, people. Bye. I appreciate you. Bye.